There's a ton of excitement around the Las Vegas Raiders these days. They have adults in the building now. Head coach Pete Carroll and Jim Johns Python have already had a good offseason collecting talent too, including Geno Smith, Carroll's quarterback. Then the offseason program came and Carroll started his movement toward his culture of competition at all times with his infectious energy. And in the midst of all that, the new talent started to show up. So what does all that mean? Are the Raiders ready to win now? Are they going to go to the playoffs? That's going to be pretty tough for the Raiders to do this year. They are a much better team than they were last year, but the AFC West is tough. Right now, I'd say there are some things in question that need to happen for that to happen. We start with the defense. One of the things that absolutely needs to happen is interior defensive lineman Christian Wilkins needs to be healthy. He's a star, and stars are deodorants that cover or make up for weaker areas of the team. They also make you make choices when there are other stars on the unit. As you know, the Raiders have another star on their defensive line in edge rusher Max Crosby. What Wilkins will do if healthy is make opposing teams choose to double him or Crosby. Interior defensive linemen are considered the most dangerous man because they're the closest one to the quarterback. So of course, since he's one of the best at what he does too, and he's the closest one to the quarterback, he would draw the most double teams. That gives Crosby a one-on-one with his man, and you already know what Crosby does with one-on-ones. After he gives the opposing offenses fits, they could decide to put the double team back on Crosby, and Wilkins will get a chance to turn the opposing offense upside down. It's pretty tough to decide who you want to double when there are two guys on that defense that can absolutely take over the game on your offense. You'll always be wrong choosing between those two. Well, in the Raiders' case, make that three if edge rusher Malcolm Kuntz can stay healthy. That's another thing that needs to happen for the Raiders to get where they need to go. Kuntz is the number one reason why the Raiders have the number one defense over the second half of the season in 2023. When Pierce took over as the interim head coach, he put him in starting lineup, and I believe it was week 9, and he tore it up. Kuntz had a total of 8 sacks that year. If he were to start for the whole year, he would have had somewhere around 16 sacks. You especially gotta love the way he came down the stretch against the AFC West opponents. He had 4 pressures and 2 sacks against the Los Angeles Chargers, 9 pressures and 3 sacks against the Kansas City Chiefs, and 6 pressures and 1 sack against the Denver Broncos. I absolutely couldn't wait to see what he could do to follow that up last year, but too bad he didn't get to play it down last season. The Raiders obviously could have used him out there. Word on the Raider Nation streets is he moved around really well in minicamp. It would be huge for the Raiders to have him back and playing well again. With the signing of Jermaine Pratt, the Raiders straightened out their linebacker corps, so they're good on the front 7 if everyone's healthy. As far as the secondary goes, I like where they're at the safety position. I can't wait to see Isaiah Polamalu balled out, and Jeremy Chin will do well in this Cam Chancellor role. At corner, Jacorian Bennett and Eric Stokes are battling it out for one spot, and as of minicamp, it looks like Porter is the best corner on the team. Porter has talent and potential oozing out of him. He's just under 6'3", 195 pounds, has 33 and 1/8 inch long arms, and ran a 4.3 40. He's a former receiver too, so Carroll saw a faster version of Richard Sherman in him. They're saying he had a great offseason, showing he's a gem, which is why he's running with the ones. Life for rookie corners in the NFL is hard, but if he's anything like they say he is and his talent suggests he is, they got a good one. The Raiders would then have 2 outside corners that you have to deal with, and with the pass rush the Raiders are going to have, especially if Kuntz and Wilkins are healthy, they're going to be hard to score points on. Carroll obviously made a great move when he brought this guy Smith in to play quarterback. I thought he played well last year for how horrible his protection was with the Seattle Seahawks. He was at his best in 2022 over there because he had much better protection. Obviously, a big part of that protection comes from the tackle position with the edge rushers they have in the division. Left tackle Colton Miller isn't going to go into the season fresh off of shoulder surgery, so he should have a good steady year as usual this coming year. The question is on the other side with right tackle DJ Glaze. Last year there were moments that he was pretty good and other moments that weren't pretty at all. That's part of being a rookie in the NFL, so to keep his side quiet, he needs to make that big jump to year 2. Carroll believes he made that jump already, and he only needs to get out there and play to show it. If Glaze can do that this coming year, that'll be a part of Smith having the kind of protection he needs to do his thing. The Raiders are going to be throwing more deep balls this year, so Glaze has to hold up. I can't wait to see just how big of a jump he made about a month from now in training camp. Another guy the Raiders need to come through that we're not too sure about is left guard Thayer Munford. Munford battled for the starting right tackle spot in 2022 and 2023 and just couldn't get it from Jermaine Illuminor. The battle was a close one though. So close, Munford and Illuminor would alternate at right tackle for those 2 years. Then Illuminor left in free agency and Munford was unable to take advantage because he injured both of his hands. That's how Glaze got the job. Now the Raiders are looking to give Munford a try at left guard. The good news about that is he was an All-American left guard at Ohio State his last year after previously playing left tackle. He volunteered to move there when the team needed a left guard. The hope here is that he can adapt to playing left guard again and be an All-Pro instead of an All-American now that he's a pro. I know, All-Pro is going too far for someone that's playing a new position in the NFL. The Raiders and Raider Nation will take him being a solid left guard they can depend on. His length and pass blocking ability will serve him well when he has to block interior defensive linemen like Chris Jones. Another guy that has to play well on that Raider offensive line is veteran right guard Alex Kappa. I believe it's just a matter of him staying healthy for that to happen. The Raiders already have a standout left tackle in Miller, and Powers is going to be an outstanding center. All the Raiders need after that are some solid offensive linemen, and if healthy, Kappa can at least be that. Too many people are judging him too harshly because he didn't play well last year with his injuries. He was a solid player with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Cincinnati Bengals at the beginning, but he didn't have the best of luck with his health last year. Kappa didn't play against Jones in the Super Bowl because of an injured ankle of all things, but he did play against him in 2022 when he was with the Bengals. Jones only had 2 pressures in that game, and none of them were on Kappa because he didn't give up a pressure in that game at all. He's only 30, so he hasn't gotten to the point where he's no longer capable of performances like that. Again, when he's healthy, he plays well, so he has to find a way not to get injured. The only thing about that is there's no way we can guarantee he will. If the offensive line comes through, it would be very beneficial to Smith. He would have time to get the ball to all of his weapons and the running game to run his play action off of. The running game will obviously be there with number 6 overall pick Ashton Jeanty toting the rock. From there you have tight end Brock Bowers looking to follow up a phenomenal rookie season and slot receiver Jacoby Myers looking to follow up his first 1,000-yard season. I'm sure we'll get good performances from them. Second tight end Michael Mayer and Trey Tucker will beat the defense with an occasional deep ball. Enter rookie Dante Thornton and the Raiders have themselves another vertical threat. Thornton is 6'5", 215 pounds and ran a 4.3 40. He also has good hands and runs better routes than expected, which is why he went in the 4th round. Smith will have his DK Metcalf type to throw the ball to if he's as good as he showed this offseason. A star running back, a star tight end, a solid slot receiver, and a solid deep threat is about what they have now. If Thornton turns out to be a star deep threat, the Raider offense will be very explosive. Let me give some honorable mention to Tyree Wilson. I don't know how much they're counting on him now, but if something happens with Kuntz, the Raiders are going to be looking for him to do something. The vibe around the team feels different this year, so everyone wants to know, are the Raiders going to the playoffs this year? And I'm sorry, I didn't answer the question. All I did is ask a bunch of questions myself, because I can't answer that question unless those questions get answered from me. Will Wilkins and Kuntz be healthy? Will Porter get it right away as a rookie? Will Glaze make the jump to year 2? Will Munford adapt to guard? Will Kappa stay healthy? Gotta answer those questions. Thank you for watching. See you next time.